Reminded this morning, that was loud. Um, I was reminded this morning of a quote that I've heard many times before. So simple. Um, Energy flows where attention goes. So there's so many renditions of that. You are what you think, all the things, but energy flows where attention goes. So where are you putting your attention? Yesterday we talked a little bit about being the guardian of the mind and just kind of continuing on that theme of where are you choosing to put your attention, your mind's attention, your actions, your words, all the things that you do, the energy that you put out in the world, where are you putting it? And is it where you want? Do you need to do any assessments of your thought processes or how you're choosing to be showing up in the world? So just ponder that for a moment as we sit here. So energy flows where attention goes, and we do have this as a truth that our energy field, our prana, responds to where we put our attention. So as you close your eyes, settle into the body and put your attention here right now, where you are in this body of yours. Okay, so grounding, feeling a sense of rooting through your pelvis, and you can move a little bit if you want, kind of rocking a little bit on your sit bones and kind of getting a heightened awareness of where you are in space. Are you in a posture that's comfortable, that's sustainable? Do your legs feel grounded and comfortable? Are you at ease? All right, so feel that your spine can expand and float from that grounded place. As always, kind of check in with the posture of your heart and the posture of your head and see if you can align yourself in a way that supports an open, courageous heart, that supports healthy breathing, and that supports a sense of ease coming through your mind. When you have a sensing of this posture and you feel yourself kind of clicking into a good place, turn your attention toward your breath. And as your eyes settle behind their lids, can you soften? Can you find some ease through your face, the ways that you express yourself? Can you relax? Come into that kind of blank slate feeling. Are your shoulders able to soften down? Are your palms and your hands, your fingers relaxed? Does your breathing have an easy channel to move through? And take a little stock of how you are, mind, body, spirit. Can you acknowledge just your state of being right now? You don't have to change anything, but just pay attention to how you are. And when you feel ready, bring your hands to your heart. Keep your heart lifting toward your hands. Find that energetic lift. And let's set an intention for where we want our energy to go, where we want our attention to go. If you know you want to divert from a path that you've been on in your mind, what are you moving toward? So sometimes it's easier not just to move away, but to move toward. So what are you moving toward? Release your hands and let's find our way to our back. All right, so as you stretch out and lengthen in your body, try to really just take a moment to enjoy how you feel. And let your body relax as best as you can on the ground. So there's just a quieting and a dropping, a sense of ease, stillness coming to you. Just like we did sitting up, let's feel our way into this posture and into this breath. And then stretch your arms overhead and find some reaching in the body where we have some length and some space. Breathing deeply in, deeply out. Invigorate yourself just a little bit. All right, and then draw your knees into your chest and let's rock a little bit, swaying. Kind of remembering that rocking is good for our nervous system, tending to ourselves a little bit here. And then hang on to the knees and feel yourself circle on your sacrum. So it's nice and gentle, ease in the hip flexors. And going the other way. And then open up your knees, feeling your way into your hip joints. See what it feels like to just kind of circle. And you can do this symmetrically or maybe zigzaggy and asymmetrically. Just kind of find a little movement in your hip joints. And then let's pause in a mini moment of Supta Baddha Konasana, soles of the feet together. You can always take fists and stick them underneath your outer hips a little bit if you feel like you need a little support, or grab a block to put underneath each leg. And just pause here for a moment and just notice what your hips are feeling like before we do anything to kind of free the body up. What's the baseline here? And try to pay attention to what's happening left and right. And notice on the inside your proprioception of where you think your knees are landing, like is your one knee lower than the other knee. And then bring your hands behind your head so that you don't have to use your core strength to do this, and lift your head and look at your knees. Are they the way your mind perceives them to be as far as their difference from each other, their height off the ground? And relax your head back down. And just notice if there's a sense of tightness or restriction in one side a little more than the other, or maybe you feel very balanced. And then bring your knees back in and knock your knees together and take your feet apart, so that you just feel a little internal rotation, a little balancing from that external rotation. And pause here to breathe. You can inch your feet maybe another inch apart from each other, so there's just a slight, effort of that internal rotation. And then relax the legs. Take your right knee into your chest, stretch your left leg long on the ground, and let's roll around in our ankles and feel that mobility. And remember that mobility practices are a little different than just deep stretching. That really, when we're trying to get mobile, we're focusing on joint movement. Whereas when we're in deep stretches, we're focusing on muscle length. And obviously the two are interrelated, but they're not the same. Okay. All right, let's cross the right knee over to the left and stretch open to a twist, and enjoy the stretch across your pecs. A big breath here. And then draw your knee back in and pick up your head and give a little hug. And then we'll switch sides. Left knee into the chest, right leg long on the ground. Move your ankles again. Get some mobility all through the joints in your feet. Rest your head, relax your shoulders, and breathe. Never underestimate the value of loose ankles. I mean, you don't want them too loose where they're hypermobile and prone to injury, but oh boy, if we have tight ankles and tight feet, a lot changes in our gait and in our stride. So let's warm them up. Hug that knee in, and then we'll cross that left knee over to the right and stretch open through your pecs on this side. Deep breath. Are you noticing your body? Are you noticing your breath? Are you staying present for sensation? Train your mind to be here now. And then come back, bring that left knee in, give a hug, lift up your head, squeeze. And then let's stretch open to a star on the ground. Wide legs, wide arms. Let's roll your wrists and your ankles. Open and close your fists, wiggle your toes. A deep breath in, stretch broadly as your next exhale comes, knees into your chest, pick up your head. Again, expanding open through your body, and then exhale, closing in. Put your head down, put your arms down, feet down. Windshield wiper your knees left and right, and feel free. You can go a little deeper in this by picking, the top leg up and kind of swinging it over. You decide how much movement you want in your spine right now. How's the breath? All right, and then last, opening up to a star, stretching your limbs wide, draw the knees in. Let's roll to your side and come up to your hands and your knees. As we continue our warm up here, let's feel our way onto our weight bearing hands and knees. So maybe a little rocking into one side, a little rocking into the other, kind of getting that feeling of grounding again. And then when you're ready, you can move through some cat-cows, arching and rounding the spine, taking your time, moving your vertebrae, breathing as you go. Where do you like to inhale? Where do you like to exhale? Notice the natural tendencies of the breath. All right, and then any kind of movement that you want. You can wag your tail or circle through your hips, shoulders, ribs, head. What wants to move here? Getting mobile in your rib cage, your pelvis, your spine, your collarbones, your shoulder blades. There's so many joints in your body. See if you can just kind of start rolling around and waking them up. And then drop down toward a child's pose and stretch your arms out in front of you. Breathing well, breathing deep. Keep touching the breath as often as you remember. Let's walk the hands over to one side or the other so we find that length in our body, giving some room for breathing. Enjoy this. And we'll walk our hands over to the other side and feel some length here. Stretching through our ribs, opening up, breathing deeply. All right. Come back to center, move your spine around again. Just notice how little by little you're freeing yourself up. All right, let's curl the toes under and stretch back to a child's pose with your feet curled under. So you're opening up the bottom of your feet and maybe rock to your pinky toes and then rock to your big toes, tap your inner ankles, a little bit of movement. And then come and release your feet and give your feet a nice little tap, remembering how important our feet are. Let's reach the arm, either one, up in the sky, roll your wrist, come to a twist. Enjoy this posture. Let your head rest and receive. Find yourself breathing. All right, and then we'll reach that arm back up in the air. Hand comes down onto the ground. We'll switch sides, arm up, give a little wiggle with your wrist, and then come down to twist. Notice your breathing. All right, then we'll come back up, reaching that arm up to the sky. Hand comes down onto the ground. Curl your toes under and find your first dog pose, maybe of the day. Maybe you haven't done a dog pose yet today. Now let's take a moment to ground ourselves here, pedaling your feet, finding your way into some movement, any kind of movement that feels good in your body. Start to feel that you're whole, your arms, your legs, your torso, everything's kind of connected. Feel a fullness of your breathing. Doesn't it feel good? All right, walk your feet forward and come to Uttanasana, the forward fold, relaxing through your body. If you can let your spine lengthen and soften toward the ground so there's a sense of ease here. Bobble your head if you'd like. Inhale for a halfway lift, opening up your legs again, stretching the backs of your legs, maybe pedaling your feet here again, opening the backs of the knees, lifting the sit bones, feeling the bottom of the feet, maybe even lifting some toes on one side as you drop the heel and then switching. Wiggle your toes, get them spread out far on the ground so you have a good base of support under your feet. And then melt again and soften toward the ground. Relax your head. Grab onto your elbows and let the weight of your arms help you lengthen your spine. A little bit of gravitational pull. And then drop your seat. Inhale, rise up. Bring the arms upward to the sky. Breathing fully, opening up through your heart. Reach your heart upward toward the sky and let's cactus open our chest so we feel the back body engage a little bit here. Say hi to the back of you. Inhale, arms back up. Let's do that one more time. Hello back there. Feel your shoulder blades. Okay, reaching the arms up. Exhale, swan dive forward. A halfway lift, opening through your spine, sit bones high. Exhale to melt. Relax your head. Step back to a dog pose. Feel that extension in your body again. Ground. Breathe. Let's come forward into a plank. Shoulders over your wrists and feel the engagement in your body. Full breaths here. Put your knees down if you need. Find the ground. Do some shoulder rolls. Get that mobility of your shoulder blades moving in your body. And take a deep breath in, cobra pose. Open chest. Exhale, relaxing down. One more time. Opening up the front of your body. Releasing back down. Come up onto all fours. Give your spine another little wiggle. And then stretch to a child's pose. Just notice how you're feeling. Are you feeling a little more open, a little bit more free? Come back onto all fours. We're going to come back into that twist we did earlier, arm reaching to the sky. Exhale, instead of twisting deeply, keep your chest facing the ground and just stretch the posterior side of your shoulder. Widen your collarbones, settle your hips back like child's pose. Inhale, bring that arm back up. Hand comes down onto the ground. Let's switch sides, arm up. Remember, we're not going deeper into the twist now. We're dropping back towards child's pose with the arm thread underneath us. Chest broad, collarbones broad. Feel your shoulders stretch open. Inhale, bring that arm back up in the air. Hands come down onto the ground, lift to a dog pose again. Root. Feel your shoulders lengthen. See if you can get your ribs to reach away from the head. Walk your feet forward. Uttanasana, fold deeply. A halfway lift, opening up through the spine. Exhale to melt. Push through the feet, rising up. Brace down through the center line. Notice how your body's feeling. Are you a little more embodied? Are you feeling a little more mobility in many of your joints? Okay, we'll reach our arms up and then take our arms straight out to the sides. Press your palms toward the walls next to you. Lift your fingers, all 10 of them, up toward the sky. Drop your shoulders. Find your breath. And let's do some backwards rolls here. They don't have to be big circles, but just get into some of that thoracic outlet, kind of opening up some of the pathways for the nerves in your arms. And then change the direction of your circles, shoulder blades down. And interlace your fingers and reach your palms straight up. Big breath, maybe a little bit of a leaning back. And then exhale and float forward. A halfway lift, extending through your spine. Exhale and relax. Step your left foot back, come to a lunge this side. Right foot's in front. Let's begin to bend and straighten our knee, feeling our way into the hamstrings, feeling our way into the hip flexors, feeling our way into our breath. Are you starting to feel better? Are you feeling, more embodied? Sometimes, I don't know about you, but sometimes I step onto my mat and my body can feel a little cranky or a little creaky or a little tired or like, I don't want to do this. And then just once I start to move, the momentum, it's like pushing the pedal on the bike. Momentum begins. And hopefully your body responds. Okay, press into your feet. Inhale, rise up, crescent lunge. Open up your heart, look up. Let's challenge our balance a little bit, either by looking up or by maybe even closing your eyes a little bit. Challenge your balance and wake up your proprioception. Release the hands down, walk the back foot forward and switch sides. Left foot's now in front. All right, feel that lunge, enjoy opening up your legs in this way, and let's begin to move. Bending and straightening that front leg. Hips are square. Let your head relax through this. How's your breath? All right, ground yourself in your lunge. Push through your feet, rising up. Again, sense into your grounding. Sense into your proprioception, where you are in space. Maybe close your eyes. Maybe look up. Feel the heart lift. Expansive, good breathing here. Release the hands down. Front foot comes back, dog pose. Let's wake up the outer hips a little bit by dragging your feet apart on the mat. So in dog pose, just pull your feet apart from each other. Light up those outer hips. And then we'll come forward into a plank. Ground yourself here. Root down. Find the ground. Stretch your arms out wide if you'd like. And take a wide cobra or just a regular cobra or any back bend that you love. And then release to come down. Bring your right forearm in front of you and grab onto your left foot. So opening up your quadriceps on that left side. tail long. You can put your head down on your arm or you can lift it up a little bit, whatever feels good. Opening up your quads. Try to feel from your hip all the way to your knee. Broaden the sensation. And then relax. And let's switch sides. Grab onto the other ankle. Are you stabilizing your pelvis? Pubic bone toward knees. Or sorry, tailbone toward knees, pubic bone toward belly button. Opening up that quad, seeing if you can feel lots of fibers. Find somewhere you haven't felt yet. And then relax and release that. Come back up onto all fours and give your hips a little wiggle. Find your way to a dog pose again. Take a little time to feel your feet pedaling again if you'd like. Feel yourself still if you'd like. Whatever you're doing with your body, you're breathing. And we'll walk our feet forward. Push through your feet, rising up one more time. Let's cross our right arm over our left arm. Eagle arms. Drop your shoulders. Lift your elbows a little bit up and away from your chest without collapsing your chest. We're staying broad and courageous in the heart space. Melt through your jaw and the base of your skull. Just let this pose be received in your body. There's a lot of tension we all carry in our neck and shoulders. See if you can just let some of that go. Inhale, arms up, change sides. Left arm on top. Shoulders down, collarbones broad, chest up. How's your breath? Where are you feeling this? Can you melt? Okay. Unleash the arms, reach them up high. And then relax your arms down. Maybe a little bit of a shoulder shrug, maybe a little bit of a hand shake, maybe a whole body shake if you'd like. All right, take stock again. Notice how you are now. Energy flows where attention goes. Where have you been putting your attention? And let's take a wide stance to turn sideways on your mat, and let's just open up the inner thighs a little bit, a deep squat. Elbows inside your knees, ground through your feet. Relax the shoulder blades down the back. Maybe a little bit of movement. Rocking to and fro. Maybe you like being still. Maybe you like to bounce a little. Just kind of sense what feels good. All right, and then inhale and rise all the way up, a standing star. Breathing deeply. Release your arms down. Let's turn our right foot out and we'll come into Parsva Konasana. So elbow on our knee and stretch open. And we're going to flow here, a little bit of movement. So first just ground your legs and feel your support. And we're going to inhale, revolve your arms around. So spin them into that reverse warrior and then spin them back into Parsva Konasana. Inhale, spiraling your arms. Exhale, stretching back out. One more time and then we'll stay. Spiraling open. And then pause yourself here and just feel the stability. Feel your core help you organize your legs. You know all the things. So root into the ground. Feel the hip, the knee open up. Keep that back leg, your left thigh, moving back and extend through your whole side. Okay, come back up. And let's do the same pose to the left. Turn your left foot out. And we'll find our way into Parsva Konasana here. Stretching open. Before we start moving, let's just feel our grounding. Know where your legs are, that they're supporting you. And then we'll just do a little bit of the dance, a little bit of the play. Inhale, spiraling those arms to that reverse warrior. Inhale or exhale, whichever feels natural to you, to stretch back to a Parsvottanasana. Let's do that one more time. Root your legs, find your core. Stretch through your side body. And then once you get settled, reorganize your legs. That right thigh is moving back. We're tracking open the left knee. Both feet are rooting into the earth. Feeling that extension. Your neck is soft. And then we'll come back up to stand. Turn your feet straight. Hasrita, take your hands down, let your back find neutral. So that was a lot of side bending. So let's see if we can just find neutral in our low back, bobble your head, finding some ease. Maybe your arms want to stretch forward like dog pose. Maybe your hands like to be in the middle of your feet. Your choice of how you choose. Heel toe your feet in. And then come on up to stand. Okay. We're going to root into our right foot, a little bit of balance work, and tip to the side like a teapot. Stretching into a star, three-legged star. Well, the fourth leg is up there in the air, but find the length, find the space. And then we'll exhale and come back to center. Use your core for this. So if you just lean over, your back is going to take a lot of the burden. So we want to engage through our core, engage through our pelvic floor as we do this, so we're solid in the center of our body. Use that outer hip so the foot in the air is turned forward, getting a lot of strength built in the outer hips. Breathing deeply. And then we'll come back to center. And pause here for a moment. Enjoy your 2 feet on the ground. Notice your heart beating. Notice your breathing. And we're going to find our way back to the front of your mat. Inhale, up you go with your arms. Exhale, floating forward. Feel that neutral spine. A halfway lift. Exhale and release. Step back with your non-dominance, but always try to take that path less traveled some of the time. How's your dog pose feeling? Lift your sit bones. I'm going to come forward into a plank and go ahead and put your knees down on the ground. We're going to take Vasisthasana, but instead of having our knee perpendicular to our mat, we're going to take our shin parallel to our mat. So our hand, our shin, and our other foot are all on a little bit of a slack line. So it's a lot of balance here. Open up to keep that shoulder blade, your right shoulder blade, down the back to support you. Press your shin and your foot and your hand into the ground. Maybe your arm wants to reach overhead. Maybe it wants to stay up to the sky. Then exhale and find the neutral child's pose in between and check in with your back. Make sure your low back is feeling supported through these unilateral poses that we're doing. And we're going to come to the other side. Left hand, left shin, right foot, all lining up. And if that's tricky, try taking your left hand a little further out to the left. Okay. Find your shoulder blades, drop them down, press your shin, your hand, your foot. Open up. So this is a little bit different pose than when we do this with the knee perpendicular to the mat. Check in with your low back. See if you can extend the tail toward the foot that's of your right leg so that you have some space in that lumbar spine. And release back down, child's pose. Soften here and breathe. Lift to a dog pose. Full breaths. And then we'll walk our feet forward, Uttanasana. A halfway lift, opening up. Exhale to release down. Push through the feet, rising. Trace down through the center and feel the energy. Pause here with your hands at your heart. Find the fullness of your breath, eyes open or shut, whatever centers you. Let your diaphragm release so that your belly can breathe, your ribs can breathe, everything's mobile. How do you feel? And release the hands down. We're going to come into Ardha Chandrasana, half moon pose. And so use a block if you'd like. We'll start either in triangle pose or in Parsva So I'm going to back up just so I have room. So if you're in triangle pose, your legs are straight. If you're starting in Parsva your front leg is bent. We're going to come on up, make sure your foot doesn't move, and find your way into the full Ardha Chandrasana. Remember, if your balance gets a little lost, take your right hand out to the right. You're on the block a little bit to give you a little bit more base. And then check in with your low back. So core is hugging toward your spine. Your heel in the air is strong. Lifting that full leg so the work is in that outer hip and your core. Breathing. Open up through your chest. And if your body wants, you can grab onto that foot in the air and find Shavasana. And challenge your balance. Maybe you're looking down and try looking forward. Maybe you're looking forward and you can try looking up toward the sky. Unlock that standing knee. And remember to come out the way you came in. Okay, pause between the two sides for a moment. Just notice the impact of concentrating on balance. Do you feel like you have an attachment? Is your ego kind of a part of this pose? Of course, our ego comes along for the ride all the time. So let's see if we can just be aware of the attachment or aversion we have to the success or failure of balance. Okay. Remember, this pose is all about process, not about product. Let's turn to the left. Make sure your left toes stay grounded, so we're not going to turn our foot as we do this pose. You can start out in either a triangle pose or a Parsva, and then we'll take a little hop. Take your left hand on a block, and remember that hand can come a little further out to the left, and open your way up into Ardha Chandrasana. Try not to lock your knee out. A slight bend in that standing knee. Spread through your feet. Heel extends. Outer hip is the workhorse. Find your breath. If you like Chapasana, you can grab that ankle and come into this variation. Especially in Shavasana, you want to make sure your tail is moving toward your knee so that you're not overarching your back. Unlock that standing knee. Breathe deeply here. And then stretching out again. And coming back down out the way you came in. And pause again. That's a hard pose. Balancing can be very tricky. So let's close our eyes now that we have a good firm grasp on the earth with 2 feet. Let's see if we can just relax into this. All right, we have one more balance pose to go, and it's just completely different from Ardha Chandrasana. So let's start this with a chair pose and stick a block between your thighs just so you get that sense of what it feels like to hug your inner thighs. And you don't have to bring your arms up. Maybe you want to. Maybe your back's like, no, today I'm going to keep my arms down. Okay. It doesn't have to be a super deep. We're just kind of coming to the midline. And then stand up straight. And you can do this pose, if balance is challenging, you can do this pose with your buttocks against a piece of furniture or a wall. We're going to come into eagle pose. It's just giving ourselves a nice good squeeze and flush, right? So we'll start on our right leg, crossing the left thigh over the right, and then taking the right arm over the left arm. Let your peripheral vision start to take over and squat like a chair. Squeeze and squat. Breathe and lift your chest. Still deep work in the outer hips, differently than Ardha Chandrasana, but the same muscle groups are working here. And then we'll unwind. Let that flush out through our body. Big breath. And bring your arms down. And we'll switch sides. Again, you can stick your backside against a wall if you need it for balance. Standing and rooting our weight into our left, cross your right leg over. Left arm is on top. Deep squat or shallow squat, you decide how far you go into this pose. Chest lifted, breathing fully. Squeeze and squat. Squeeze your legs, squeeze your arms. Soften your gaze. Breathe into your sides. And then we'll unwind that pose. Standing star one more time. And bring your arms down. Bring your feet back closer to neutral and bounce. Okay. That pose does a lot to squeeze lymph in your body. And now we just want to give freedom of some movement. Give your hands a good shake. Deep breath in, arms up. Exhale, loading down. A halfway lift, extending your body, open your heart. Exhale to melt and step back to a dog pose. While you're here, pedal your feet. Try to release some of that restriction that happened in the eagle pose in your legs. Now we're letting movement occur. And come forward. One more time to a plank pose. Find your way all the way to the ground. Before we do a back bend, pick up your feet a little bit and just roll your ankles. Say thank you for all the balancing that your ankles help you do. And then put your feet back down, and we're going to take our feet a little, like our legs wide, like hip width or a little bit wider, maybe to the edges of your mat. And we'll keep our head down, but we'll lift your legs up. Feel that symmetry across your sacrum. Breathing. All right. And then relax. Pick up your feet and windshield wiper your knees. Okay. Draw your left knee up high toward your armpit. Take a look at it. And then we'll cross that right arm over to the left underneath us and roll open to a twist. Rest your head. Enjoy. And then roll back around and we'll switch sides. Take your right knee up toward your armpit, cross the left arm underneath you, and roll open. Twisting and breathing, melting your head. I come back around, come up onto all fours, maybe give your spine a little bit of a shake, and then a child's pose. Just open up your spine. Imagine someone's hand on your sacrum pressing toward the wall behind you. All right, let's come up to sit on the edge of the blanket. Take the soles of the feet together, and we'll have our feet further out away from us, not right up against us. Elbows on your knees, or you can even put blocks there and elbows on your blocks if you need some more height. Lengthen your spine as you press your knees down. Lengthen your spine as you reach forward. Open up the soles of the feet. Just let those outer hips stretch a little bit. Let your back stretch. Feel free to bow your head. Back up. Take the soles of the feet together. A little closer in. Hands behind you. Lift up through your chest. Open up your knees. Track them downward. And relax that. Let's take the blanket that we're sitting on and stick it underneath your left sit bone and take your feet off to the right. Reach your right arm up. Left hand is behind you to support you. And take your right hand to the outside of the knee. Palm up, palm closed, whatever feels good. And, twist and then drop your right sit bone down a little bit. Breathing into that sideways, finding the full open twist here. Maybe your head turns all the way, maybe even your eyes turn all the way, or maybe your head turns all the way back. And come back to center. And let's scoot the blanket so it's underneath our right sit bone. Take your feet off to the left so that the top of your left ankle is resting in the arch of your right foot, or somewhere about that way. Drop your sit bone, your left sit bone, down into that pocket. Right hand behind you to support the lift of your spine. Reach your left arm up first and then bring it to the outside of your knee. Breathing well, just twisting fully. Maybe your head turns all the way, including your eyes, or maybe your head turns all the way back toward your knees, including your eyes. Then back to center. Come onto your back. Draw your knees toward your chest and rock just a little bit. Grab your block and stick it underneath your pelvis, a low bridge, so the block's on the low height. Just pause here for a moment and just kind of set your sacrum, set your pelvis after a lot of one-legged standing poses, asymmetrical poses in our back and hips and pelvis. Let's seek symmetry here. Bring your knees in toward your chest. And experiment. What do you want here? Do you want a happy baby? Do you want knees to your chest? Do you want your legs up? Do you want your legs wide? Kind of just experiment with what's going to feel really good for your body. There's no right or wrong way to be in this posture. So just kind of find what works for you. Whatever you're doing, we're breathing really well here. And then we'll find our way down from the block. So hips up, get that block out of there, and find your way to Shavasana. If there's any other posture that your body's calling for, needing, of course, follow through. Remember to take care of your Shavasana. We want to feel comfortable. We don't want to be touching random things. We don't want breezes on us or bright lights on us. Try to minimize the input from the outside. Be warm, and of course, be comfortable in whatever position you're choosing. Take any support that you need. Take your time to just get your Shavasana just right. You can be a little bit of the princess and the pea for this kind of pose. We want to set the stage for some Shavasana well so that we're very comfortable. And then once you get comfortable, first just have gratitude for the capacity to have ease in your body and in your mind, to have comfort, to have stability. Let's just touch the knowledge that we can be grateful for this, that it's not guaranteed. And when it arises, when we feel ease, let's notice it, touch it, be thankful for it. And then again, energy flows where attention goes. Where do you want to place your attention here? Let's try the breath or just the feeling of grounding. Whatever your focus is, keep it on the present moment awareness. Let's begin to deepen our breathing. Before you move, just experience the quality of melting one more time. Giving thanks for ease in your body, ease in your mind. And start to invite some movement, maybe your ankles and wrists, or maybe your head turning. Maybe a big stretch. Just see what feels right. Coming to your side and lifting yourself upright. Taking your time, moving slowly. When you feel ready, notice how you feel. How does your practice support your well-being? How does it shift your energy and shift your attention? What changes in the hour of your practice? And let's be so thankful for this practice and all the other practices that we have in our lives that are sustaining us, supporting us. Bring your hands together at your heart. And let's offer our practice outward. May others feel the benefit just as we do. Namaste. Thank you, everyone.